Good evening. My name is Felicitas Hernandez Rosales, and today I am going to be talking about language as discourse, and the title of my presentation is Understanding Each Other. We will start with coherence and cohesion. The University of Manchester has defined coherence as the property of unity in a written text that stems from the relationship between its underlying ideas and from the logical organization and development of these ideas. In other words, when ideas are arranged adequately, then this gives them coherence. And then we go on to cohesion, which is when a sentence is clearly linked to the next. It could be in chronological order, for example, and this gives it cohesion, one after the other, and they're all related. So in other words, when cohesion and coherent form parts of a text, they make a whole. Now we're going to go on to conjunctions. Now you probably wonder how you can remember what conjunctions are. Um, there is a word that was invented called fanboys, and each of these letters in this word represent one of the conjunctions. There are 7, and they are for, and, but, nor, or, yet, and so. So you can remember it this way. Now, there are some chain links representing sentences, the red part being one of the conjunctions. Okay. If each of these sentences is the silver chain and the conjunction is in the middle, well, then this clearly explains what I'm trying to say. You have a sentence plus a fanboy plus a sentence. Now we're going to go on to compound sentences. I have an example here. She painted the bathroom and he mowed the lawn. She painted the bathroom. Well, it's an independent clause. Why is it called an independent clause? Because it can stand by itself and it has meaning. However, he mowed the lawn is also an independent clause because you can understand the message. The word and is a coordinating conjunction. Now we're going to go on to complex sentences. They're a little bit different. I have an explanation here. A complex sentence will have one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. So we will see an example. Here we have, when you finish your classwork, bring it over so I can sign it. The green part, which is when, is a subordinating conjunction of cause, okay, and consequence. You finish your classwork cannot stand alone because it's not really understood, so therefore it is a dependent clause. And an independent clause, bring it over so I can sign it, is a totally independent clause. Remember that if a marker appears in the middle of one of these sentences, you don't have to add a comma in any part of it. However, if it appears at the beginning, you must add it in the middle. Now we have a list of subordinating conjunctions. And if you go through the list, you will see what they represent. Well, what they talk about. One will be for addition, another one will be for comparison, others for contrast, time, result, summary, example, and place. So these are the subordinating conjunctions list. And I have a linkers list too. All right, and these will show location, compare and contrast, show time, clarify, and add information. Now, cohesive devices. We will focus on cohesive devices, which are substitution, reference, ellipsis, conjunction, and lexical cohesion. Now, what is substitution? Substitution, as the name says, substitutes other words to represent one that has been aforementioned. In this case, we will focus on the word gumdrops. And I wrote a small dialogue, and it says, do you want these gumdrops? Yeah, give me several. Several represents the word gumdrops. Which ones do you like best, red or green? Ones represents gumdrops again. Oh, all are nice, thanks. So all represents gumdrops too. Several, ones, and all are the substituting words. Now we have ellipsis. Okay, an ellipsis occurs when we leave certain words out, okay, to make a phrase that communicates a message. However, even if we do leave these words out, the message is still understood. Ready? Coming. Wait up for me. Totally clear, although we are skipping certain words that would normally be included. For example, are you ready? I am coming. Wait up for me, please. Now, reference. Okay, references when we use words that lack meaning of their own and we use only subject pronouns. Okay, and we use these to refer to nouns in a text. For example, I wrote that Jack and I gave Layla a ride home. Jack and I are represented by the word we, and Layla is represented by the word her. The students ate tacos at that stand. Well, the students are represented by the word they, so they are subject pronouns, as I had said before. Now, conjunctions are words that are used to join two or more words. Example given is the following. You could say, prepare your final project to upload it up on time. But it definitely sounds better to say, prepare your final project and upload it on time. And is the one that is joining them. However, just as extra information, it is even more polite to say, please prepare your final project and upload it on time. Okay? The word and joins the ideas together and excuse the spelling mistakes. Now, what's lexical cohesion? All right, lexical cohesion is used to provide unity in a text through the way in which lexical items refer to each other depending on their collocation to avoid being repeated. For example, I have here the word canine and police dog, and they both refer to each other. The canine was trained in 6 months, and this police dog was the one who caught the dealers. Then I have another example. The mutt was the youngest of the litter, but the healthiest, and it was this dog that lived almost 19 years. We're avoiding repetition. They are very, very close synonyms, and we don't lose the line of the message. Now we're going to go on to discourse analysis. Okay, and there's a part in discourse analysis called intentionality, which represents the intention you have when writing a text. The text could be to persuade, to inform, to describe, to convince, or to argue. There are different kinds of narratives, these being a story, a folk tale, a novella, drama, epic poetry, a play, all right, a vignette. Now, acceptability is when a product is satisfactory to the reader and is accepted. All right, it can be based on the information given, okay, especially if a person is an expert on a subject, he will decide whether the acceptability is authorized or not. And intertextuality is when you take from different sources focusing on a certain topic, you take different information and then you arrive at your own conclusion and you write your own. So it can be, this is called intertextuality. Situationality. Okay, well, this one focuses on the situation in which the text is being produced because this one plays a very important role in how the message is gotten across. And informativity, well, for there to be informativity, there has to be a balance in the information that is being presented. It's not the same if you go on a date, a romantic date, or if you go to the gym, the information offered there is quite low. But there is a higher informativity if you are at an art presentation, for example. Conversational analysis. Okay, well, this one consists of turn taking, of nominating another speaker when we are talking. There's an account, excuse, or explanation. There's a dominant speaker, and there's a current speaker, the one that is speaking at the moment. Then comes the next speaker. And just as extra information, dots indicate pause. Well, this is my list of sources. I'm sorry, I think we went out of the page. Thank you very much for listening.